Put your faith in the light.
Hello guys, welcome to another one of my videos. This is Lightblade. Well guys, in this one I'm going to show you my run of 24 Plaguefall that we did last week with my push group on Tyranical, Raging and Volcanic. Okay guys, now let's go quickly on the things I'm going to use, I used to do this key. First of all, Soulbind. So I'm going to be using Pelagos here because Pelagos doesn't sacrifice almost anything to go to his single target build while still maintaining a decent amount of AoE. He also has a really nice defensive benefits with Let Go of the Past and Newfound Resolve, which can give you 10% stamina for 15 seconds in some certain occasions that can save your life. Other than that, we're going to be using these talents. The only change we're going to do here is on the 4th row. Instead of Unbreakable Spirit or Cavalier, we're going to go for Eye for an Eye. This is because in the first boss, there's a really nasty physical stomp that the boss does. The first part of that is a physical, the second part is a magical dot. So Eye for an Eye is going to help us mitigate the large part of the physical stomp, which is going to help us stand in goo, so we get a damage buff. You'll see that in the key. Other than that, normal talents as usual: Zeal, Blade of Wrath, Fist of Justice, Divine Purpose, Healing Hands, and Sanctified Wrath. Okay, now let's go to my stats and some special gear that I'm wearing. So for my stats, there's nothing really different that from the key that I did, the other Spires of Ascension. We're still going to be using the stats tailored for Pelagos. We have 29% haste when we go inside the key. We have Mastery stacked also, but we are not fully capped on it because we want Pelagos Soulbind to fill some of the gaps there so we don't lose as much stats. Other than that, we're going to fill the void of Master with a bit of versatility, which also makes us a bit tankier for these Tyrannical keys. Special gear that I'm wearing is this crafted necklace that gives me avoidance. I recommend if you're going to be doing high keys, anything over 22, to use an avoidance necklace because, well, an avoidance piece of gear because it's really useful. We are kind of squishy as Red Paladins, so having this helps a lot. Okay guys, that's all for what I'm going to use here, and now let's go to the key. Okay guys, here we are at Plaguefall 24. So we're starting the key here. So Plaguefall is a pretty chill dungeon. Most of the groups here in this first part normally just do a skip and go to the first room and just do the slimes, but our group likes to play these packs, and although they have some kicks and some stunts that have to be made, they're pretty chill to play. This first pack is kind of annoying because there's a lot of area denial because of the big flesh golem there that puts that green stuff on the ground that hurts really bad if you touch it. So we just AoE this down, interrupt whatever we can. And we don't interrupt that Wonder Grow because we can Blood Elf Purge it, so it doesn't really matter. The interrupts that have to go are the Stormer's AoE thing because it does a ton of damage, especially if he's low health. He's gonna one-shot out your group. And basically that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and there's the kick from the big flesh golem that spawns little ads. So after this pull, these 3 pulls are basically the same thing. They have the same mushroom people, stun the spin from the stormer guy, and just AoE the mobs down. Then we get a little ghosty there, so we can get a bit of extra strength and health. There is a lot of area denial here though. Like you can see that green stuff. We gotta just move out of it. We can't stand in it. And we use some tech from our protection warrior here. Whenever this guy does Hurl Spurs, our protection warrior tank can just use Spell Reflect to do some extra damage to the mob. So we use all we can, all the niches that our classes can. Now we're just gonna do this pack. It's another pack of 3 of those mushroom people, and we're gonna kill the Relic so we get cooldowns back. Oh yeah, you gotta be mindful of where you point your Divine Storm here. If you point it like through the middle of this place, there's like those big birds that you can accidentally pull if you Divine Storm in the wrong direction. So try to just aim your Divine Storm so it doesn't pull anything extra. Just gonna do a bit more control here, stun those mushroom people so they don't spin, they don't do casts. The Wonder Grow goes off, but it doesn't really matter. We can just remove it with Blood Elf Racial. Well, we can't, we're human, but our group has a lot of Blood Elves. I think we have 2 Blood Elves. So we finished the Relic, and now we're gonna go to do the big pull of all those slimies in the first room. Well, in the room with the boss. So this pull is pretty dangerous at the end because these slimes do AoE. So they do AoE bursts around them that affect melee characters. So it's annoying for melee. So we're just gonna burst down everything here, kill the Earth Relic, and just blow everything up. Use our cooldowns. So we're gonna use Shield of Vengeance first, and at the end of the pack we're just gonna use Bubble so we don't die because of raging blobs. Our Demon Hunter throws Darkness there, but sometimes it doesn't like absorb enough damage, so I'd rather just Bubble to be safe, you know. Here we're just gonna finish up this. We're gonna do that slime guy by himself, and then we're gonna go down to get a red slime. So we have a Necrolord in this group, and you can double dip on the haste buff that the red slime gives you. So you get one buff from your Necrolord player, and you get a second buff whenever you stand in the red goo. So we get a double haste buff on the first boss, which is really, really powerful. You're gonna see the speed at which we killed that first boss is pretty nice. Oh yeah, that's why we also used a bit of the tech from the, what's it called? Eye for an Eye. Eye for an Eye gives us 30% damage reduction to physical damage, and that's going to be useful on that first boss fight. Here we're just gonna pull these packs and not gonna use cooldowns here because we want to save them for boss. Things actually won't last 2 minutes till we get there. So we're just gonna use our 1 minute Divine Toe when it comes back up and save our wings for a boss fight. We have enough damage without cooldowns to just destroy this pack. Tyrannical bosses are like pretty scary, so gotta use all cooldowns on them, can't just go in without anything. Now we're gonna pull that red slimy there, finish off these little guys that run away. Wake of Ashes is very nice here because these guys are undead, so Wake of Ashes stuns a lot of them. Here we're also gonna use Eye for an Eye to absorb 2 of these blobbies while our tank goes and does the other ones. We can also use, what's it called, Blessing of Protection to do that. But I'd rather just use Eye for an Eye. Blessing of Protection can be used on other stuff that are more important sometimes. So Eye for an Eye allows you to absorb those little blobbies and just step on them because they are physical damage. They do a lot of damage in Fortified. This is just Tyrannical, so they don't do as much damage with it, just to be safe. Using Eye for an Eye. Here we're just gonna do kicks on this slimy and take it to the boss room so we can kill it there and use the slime on the ground to get the double haste buff, like I said before. It's a pretty common strategy. A lot of groups do this with just a Necrolord player and bring the blob to the first room. We got a ghost there. A bit unfortunate because we actually want to get the ghosts when we're fighting stuff. Sadly, we get one there and not one with the boss fight, but it's not a big loss. Now we're just gonna kill this slime, and we're gonna get the red pool on the ground here. Yeah, double haste buff. And we're just gonna blast this boss. We have so much haste at this point that it's kind of annoying to do a rotation, but we still managed to do it normally. And there you can see I used my Eye for an Eye. So I absorbed a lot of the first impact damage from that stomp that the boss does. It's physical damage at first, and then it's a magical dot. So I absorbed a lot of that physical stomp. I didn't take that much damage, and I can just keep standing on this thing, you know. Here I'm dropping a bit low from standing on the red goo, but I'm just gonna use Bob for the next stomp because my health is a bit low. So I just don't want to risk using Eye for an Eye here. Yes, my health is a bit low, and just Bob, ignore the damage from the stomp, remove the poison, and keep doing damage to the boss. As you can see, with all that extra haste, we're just smashing this boss to the ground. My hunter did the trap on the big blob, so we don't have to do another rotation of it. We are going to get one more slime, but we actually don't have to do anything about it because the boss is just gonna die then. Remember that you can remove that poison, that disease dot that the boss does here. From you or from anyone in your group, you know. Here I just slow that last slime and finish up the boss. As you can see there, our tank is doing a ton of damage. That's because he's using a spell Reflect. Warriors can reflect the dot from the boss, and that does a ton of damage to it. So now we have all our cooldowns. We managed to kill that boss in just one rotation of coolness, which is really nice. Now we're gonna just blast here this pack of little slimies, you know. These slimies are pretty dangerous because they do AoE burst of disease damage and put a dot on you. So I'm just gonna go in there with bubble and use it offensively so we can just blast this pack down. Don't want to deal with it. I can actually remove the dot with my remove diseases, or I can use my file from Kyrian. I used it there on my tank because he asked for it, and then I used my file on me. But sadly, at the end here, I get 3 of those stacks, and I kind of forget because I was healing from the so it didn't feel like I was dying. But then again, I'm dying here. Yeah, like I was baited by It felt like I was fine because I had the healing, and then I wasn't fine because I had that disease dot. Here we're just gonna kill the WoW relic because we're gonna skip all the packs from here until the part with the plague borers. The annoying mobs here are those ghoul guys that put debuff on your tank. You can dispel that with being a paladin. He can also spell reflect one of those. I don't know, disease claws or something like that they're called. Yeah. Anyways, you can spell reflect one, and then you can dispel the other ones. Basically, the spell on cooldown. Don't get hit by the rock, by the frontal, because it does a ton of damage. Basically, a one-shot if he's raging. We kill the WoW relic, and we're just gonna run past everything here. We do this because we don't actually want to deal with those ghoul guys just running away and pulling random stuff. So this is a bit more efficient pathing, you know? We're gonna get these 2 ghouls, and we're gonna kill them with the plague borer. It's a really good thing that they actually did the change, where the ghouls don't do fervent strikes anymore. So you can stand beside them and they won't hit you. They only hit the tank now. We're gonna kill the... Yes, we're gonna kill the tentacle there with the bombs. And we're also gonna kill the ghouls with the bombs. Just to be a more efficient kills. Gotta do the same here, just gonna be patient, wait for the ghouls, well the plague borers, and use it to kill the tentacle. Always try to stun it, kind of at the end of the plague borer's timer, so the tentacle doesn't pull someone, and then they die with explosion. There I just used my divine toll, without anything, just to speed up this kill. Just gonna kill the relic. I'm gonna use the plague borers to kill the relic and the dude here. After this, we're just gonna freedom our tank so he doesn't get the slow buff, well, a slow debuff from the plague borers, and he can pull the next pack and use the plague borers on them. Although I think we missed here, so we didn't actually use the plague borers to kill this pack. Yeah, we needed a bit of a kicks there to get those casters close. So we actually didn't use these bombs efficiently. Oh, we got rooted there at the last second. We just used freedom. That was a bit scary. We could have died. Anyways, we're just gonna pop cooldowns here. It's a good place because they'll be back when we need them for the boss. Load this pack up and just prepare for the next boss fight. We have to clear all these platforms, but we're gonna use the red slime on the last one to just blast the boss like we did with the first one. So we're gonna stand on the goo. Plaguefall is pretty chunky. I actually like it. I don't like the color palette of it. I hate this green color. I liked the Legion green, but this green is like, I don't know, it looks like sick green, so I don't really like it. I guess it goes with Maldraxxus, you know. Maldraxxus is the place of disease and all that stuff, but still, I hate this color palette. Anyways, just gonna dispose of this 2-pack. Kill the big guy, interrupt the small guy. We're gonna use Eye for an Eye again to absorb 2 of those. You can see there it doesn't do almost any damage to us. It's Tyranical, so they aren't buffed, but we can still, I think, absorb 2 of them in Fortify settings. Here we're gonna kill the purple slime because it gives DR to the caster guy. Remember, the slimes don't give DR to other slimes, so it's only actually buffing the caster dude and not the red slime. So we gotta be careful not to kill the red slime, so we can use it with the boss here. Just gonna kick these guys, and whenever the boss pats in, we're just gonna pull the boss with them. Kick these guys in, kill the slime. The boss will be here any minute now. Gonna prepare a few holy power so we can fight the boss. I think we killed him before he gets there. Yeah, we killed everything before he gets there. Now we're gonna stand in the goo. There is a moment in this fight where my computer kind of dies and like all the FPS drop, so I'm gonna just make a small skip on that part. As you can see here, we just blast everything down with so much haste. And we also have the herb off, so we can stand on the red thing without taking almost any damage. And the boss is just doing his normal phase. Here we're gonna use, well, we don't have lust yet. It's 2 minutes to lust. We're kind of going really fast in this dungeon. So we're gonna kill this big slime eating before it explodes. I think our Druid is going to try to CC that purple mob, so we don't have to deal with it. So yeah, this is the part where my computer kind of dies. Okay, we're back here. So after that, and we just, well, we killed just the slime because I think we put a dot on the slime, so we can't actually CC it now. So we had to kill the slimy, and now the boss is going to do his thing. Dodge the green lines. Kind of panicked there because I didn't know where the guy was looking. So he does those green lines on the direction of the cardinal points. So I wasn't actually looking where he was facing. So I didn't know, so I just ran away from it. Here we're just gonna make it transition again. And we have lust in 20 seconds, so we're gonna use it when that happens. We have our second round of cooldown, so we're gonna pop him here to kill that bomb, the green slime. Now we know where he's looking, so we don't have to panic, just dodge the guy. Kill this thing. Our Druid manages to CC the purple blob this time. I wanted to absorb that little slimy with the eye for an eye, but our tank was faster than me, so he just got it. They changed a lot of things in the recent build, in the recent patch. So those little slimies actually scale with key level, so now they do a lot of damage if you try to step on them. Before they just did like 100 damage or something like that. So basically the boss is dead now. Just gonna go to the next part. We're actually blasting this place really fast. I don't have cooldowns to do the next big pack here, which is kind of sad because I really like to do this pull in the middle with the big giant and the other dudes that are kind of hurt. Here we just kill the tentacle. Like I said before, I don't have cooldowns for the next pull, so I feel a bit sad. We even got a little ghosty thing. We're gonna absorb it to do this pack. Since we don't have cooldowns, it doesn't really do much. Just some extra damage. We have Wake of Ashes, we have Shockwave to stun that guy that does the dome thing. And we just finish up the pack. I'm gonna kick that. I take a lot of damage from the raging green stuff on the ground. It takes a while to do the damage, so you can actually stand in it for like 1 second. But after one and a half seconds, it actually does the damage. I almost died there because the guy was raging. Here we're gonna skip those 2 mobs on the left and gonna pull it. Just gonna go to the next part before the third boss. So it's important here to stun the spiders when they do their little spiderling cast or something like that. Try to stun them on chain. So I stun here first. Then my Demon Hunter is going to do the stun. Then my Warrior. Then Demon Hunter is going to cage again if he keeps doing that stealthlings casting. It's important so he doesn't spawn them. They're kind of annoying because you need an AoE interrupt or something to keep them in place so they don't jump on someone and just insta-give them. You can actually don't kick that root and just let the dude cast. He doesn't do anything, so it's better to just let him cast. So here we're gonna use our Eye for an Eye tech again because these guys do shoots and those shoots hurt a lot, especially when they're raging. So I use my Eye for an Eye there to absorb any damage that I could take. Just gonna blast this pack with cooldowns. There we kind of miss on the Stealthlings cast and they actually appear. So I don't think we didn't have oh, we had an interrupt, but I just bopped just in case. So if you bop there, if the Stealthlings jump on you, they don't do anything. So that was just a safety method. Gonna kill everything here in this pack. There I get shot again. I didn't have my Eye for an Eye. As you can see, those shots that the archer do are kind of scary, especially when he's raging. We got a little ghosty thing for the next pack. We're gonna kill the Relic here. Kill the Relic, let the guy cast his root on the ground. Although we kind of have to move in a bit because the Relic's going to do that thing. The yellow thing on the ground. Just gonna kill that spider thing because it's really annoying. We don't have a stun for that. Oh, we actually did have a stun. Here, we can't actually stun that Defender of Many Eyes, so I fear it, because we can fear undead, don't forget about it. Some of the small utility Retribution Paladins bring. Using fear on undead mobs, turn evil, pretty useful spell. It's not only undead, it's also aberrations, I think. So, play a chill spell. I think it's even demons. Yeah, it's demons. There my Demon Hunter uses the Door of Shadows thing, so they get disoriented. And now we're off to the next boss. So here we're gonna kill the Relic and we're gonna use our cooldowns, not at the start because we want to just blast those spiders off when they spawn. So we're gonna use our first rotation of cooldowns when the spiders spawn. This boss is really scary on Tyranical because of that purple stuff that he puts around you. When the spider jumps to you, it deals a ton of damage. So we're actually praying it doesn't go on me or on our hunter. Well, we can absorb like... we have Bubble to absorb one of the hits if it goes on us, and we have Shield of Vengeance to absorb the next one. We also have a pretty decent amount of bursts because we have, I think, 12% burst, 10% burst, 12% burst, and 10% avoidance for this key. There I lose a bit of FPS, so sorry. And we also have the Pelagos thing that gives us 3% damage reduction on magic damage, and the jump is a magic effect, so we have a lot of defensives. We should be able to survive just with using our Shield of Vengeance first. I actually wanted to see if it actually killed me over Shield of Vengeance. As I said before, Tyrannical bosses are really scary. That goes on our hunter. He has a DR, so he survives. It's a really good thing that it picked my Demon Hunter most of the times. Here, unfortunately, we went to the same side and we missed one of the spiders and the webs. Our Demon Hunter gets trapped in the thing because he wasn't close to anyone. Our Druid manages that with no problem because he turns into a big bear and just soaks the DR. I'm just gonna throw a Divine Storm there so we can get that spider here and blast the next rotation of our cooldowns on these spiders. Here I get picked one time, and so I just shield the Vengeance. And I also get hit by a Volcanic. So you can see all my defensives there, save myself. I had the Pelago Sting, my Burst, my Avoidance, and my Shield of Vengeance, and it still almost killed me, so... Tyrannical bosses are no joke. Here it picks my Hunter friend. He just runs away, and he also almost dies. We're kind of squishy. There we just commit and don't even take the spiders off the webs, because the boss was low enough. Now we're going to the last part of the dungeon. It has been a really chill run because we actually only have one death. So it's been a really nice run. After we do all these devoted ads and the big guy, well, the big mini boss here, we're just gonna go back and bring some slimes. We're also gonna bring one of the red slimes to this boss. As you can see, the haste from those red slimes is really useful, especially if you can double dip. Bring the slime here and also have a Necrolord player, you can get double the red buff of haste. So my wings are going to come back of cooldown here in a few seconds. So I could actually use them here and blast these packs and have it for boss, but it would be close. So instead of just using my wings here, I just actually don't press the button and save them for boss. Just one of those things when you don't play for a while and then you start playing, you kind of forget about timings and when stuff's going to come back, you know. So I just use my normal cooldowns, the Divine Toll, because that will come back for sure for boss fight. Just a 1 minute speed. Gonna get a little ghosty thing, we get extra strength. And kill these packs. Yeah, these guys don't actually deserve to get used with wings. They just die too fast. Wasn't actually needed me to press there, the button. You got to kill this guy and run away because the boss is gonna spawn. You can see there my tank is doing a thing that's called death zoning. So you can actually move that guy, not by just running away from him, but you have to run close to him and then a bit far from him. Just do that weird movement that he was doing, and the little mini boss will follow you around. I see a lot of tanks not actually being able to move that guy because they want to like run away from him, but he doesn't work like that. So that's some nice tech from my tank. Here we're just gonna kill these two slimes. We have all the time in the world to kill this last boss. We can even wipe once to this boss and still time the key. It's gonna kill the slimies. As I said before, slimes don't give damage reduction to all their slimes, so the purple slime doesn't matter if it's here, it's gonna still do full damage to the green slime. Now we're just gonna get the red slime here. The reason why we don't pull them together is because our AoE is kind of pretty on the same page. Like it's pretty blanket AoE, so it means that if we're killing the other two slimes, the red slime is probably going to die. So we want to avoid to kill the red slime. So we use it on the last boss. Just gonna do a rotation of kicks so we can bring it there. This is gonna give us a ton of haste for this last fight, which is pretty useful because this last boss is really deadly, especially for our healer. He doesn't have a disease dispel. I have one, but I'm always going to use it on myself. So there's one less person that he has to heal, but we're going to be standing on the Resto, so he has to heal a lot here. The poison rain from this boss are really dangerous. So we're just gonna blast everything here. Sadly, the boss makes us move away from the red stuff, but we're just gonna go back there. Any second now, I'll go back to the red slime. I kind of forget that we had it, so I'm just gonna sit here now. Get that haste buff so we can push the boss. And we push the first phase. Now in this part, I really recommend you to just don't run to those little ads because they are going to one-shot you in Tyranical. Well, not one-shot you, but they're going to hit you and you probably die. in 1 or 2 hits. They hit really hard on Tyranical boss. So try to just chill for a bit and let your tank gather those little ads. Now the boss is back. It's gonna take a step out because I don't want to get hit by the boss as soon as he comes back up. So it's gonna use our 1-minute cooldowns here with Lust. I think our hunter just died there. Yeah, he died. So we actually didn't have Lust. So we had to use drums here. Luckily my Demon Hunter pressed drums, so we were able to use it. There I dispelled myself. Well, I dispelled my healer and then I used my file to dispel myself. And on the next phase, I have bubble, I have every other defensive cooldown to save myself or someone in my group if something goes wrong, because that last phase is kind of hectic. And we just gotta dodge the tentacles one more time. Here I barely get hit by the tentacles. Look, ew, it's so close. If I moved a second close to those tentacles, I was dead. I think we still have like 2 battle reses though, so I was fine even if I died. I gotta go a bit away from the boss so I don't want to get slapped. And we're just gonna finish it up here. Yeah, all our cooldowns. Just gonna blast this boss. We get so many procs there of our divine purpose that we actually couldn't use our holy power, so we overcapped a bit on it. Gonna use my bubble on the next poison rain. We're just gonna ignore the ads. Hunter's gonna do that trap there. She's gonna do the poison rain. I'm just gonna bubble this and dispel my healer and finish off the boss. And well guys, that's 24 Plaguefall. Okay guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed that run and it was actually informative for you guys. So if you liked the video, like it and subscribe to the channel for more content. It helps me a ton. Thanks for watching everyone.